Chuck says, I have a local client in the retirement community industry that has a single location business. The homepage is optimized for brand, GBP category, and location. I'm creating a location page with top sites, things to do, etc., to create locally relevant content on the money site. You talk about how you would optimize the title tag and page structure or headers of this page. Yeah, it's the same thing that I talk about in all my audits. So if we come back over here and look at that audit document, I always reference this right here. That's this. This is the page structure section. So I always go through this, but what was his name? Chuck. Chuck, I have a local or full SEO audit service where I go through this exact document right here, which is 19 points across 4 sections: entity analysis, on-page analysis for the self-hosted site, on-page analysis for the GBP right here, and then lastly, the competitive link analysis, which is the backlink and off-page analysis, which is starting right here. All right, so it's 4 components, 19 points. What I do is I go through each of these 19 points and I say it's either good or it needs improvement. That's what you see up here at this little legend. If it needs improvement, then I provide a recommendation. And then after I'm done with all that, then I go through a video where I record a video where I narrate and I go through each and every one of those points and explain very specifically, here's what I found. It's either good, needs improvement. If it needs improvement, then I explain why I'm recommending what I'm recommending. And I show you exactly how I came to those conclusions. That's why my audit videos, just to be clear, my audit videos are very, very long. They're getting longer too. Like you can see a number of them here in the last week, couple of weeks, hour and 10 minutes, hour and 9 minutes. Some of them are short for the clients that get a lot of audits very often, because then I don't have to repeat the same concepts over and over and over again. But most of them, especially for new ones, they're typically long. And it sucks because I'd spend so much time doing it, but I want to be very thorough in explaining why I'm recommending what I'm recommending so that you're confident in making those changes or executing those changes. I'm not just going to say, do this. Because first of all, how do you know I'm not full of shit? That's why I want to show you exactly how I came to the conclusion so that you're confident in what I'm saying is accurate. Okay. And number 2, I also don't want to just give you a fish. I'd rather teach you to fish so that you can implement that strategy across other projects, other client projects, right? So to answer your question, what I do in this section here is I talk about page structure, guys, because page structure is critically important. And so what I provide here is I go through and I show how Google Business categories were created for that particular project. And then I show in the data how the Google Business category and how that was created from Wikipedia topics or entities. So I reference that so that then now we have the Wikipedia topic or entity pages available so that when we go to optimize the page structure, we can look at the entity variants so that we can optimize the main optimization elements of the page, which are titles, headings, and subheadings, using entity terms instead of keywords. So in the way that we optimize at the entity level, which is what I call category and topic optimization, is we identify the Google Business categories first, which is what I show right here. I'd show the categories. Then I show how those categories were created with Wikipedia topics. A topic is an entity in Wikipedia. Do you understand? If it has a Wikipedia page, that is an entity, or what I call a topic. Okay. And so I show how Google Business categories were created from topics. And then I show how to optimize at the page, the main optimization elements of the page, which are titles, headings, and subheadings, using entity variants and all of those optimization elements. So that Google understands that the page is optimized at the category or the entity level as opposed to a keyword level. What that does is it opens up that page to be able to rank for all of the search queries that are associated with those entities, even if those queries aren't present on the page, right? So again, I go through all of that very thoroughly in the audits. And when how I recommend doing that or optimizing the title tags is what you see here, right? The SEO titles, which is semantic triplet statements, guys. It's subject, object, predicate. Who you are in layman's terms. It's who you are, what you do, where you do it. Those are 3 entities that we are referencing in the SEO title. Brand entity, product or service entity, location entity. Remember, what is an entity? It's a person, place, or thing. What is the semantic web? It's how entities relate or associate to each other. Relate to each other or associate with each other, whatever. So what are we doing with this? When we're trying to optimize for the semantic web, guys, we should be optimizing for entities, not keywords. And if the semantic web is about how entities associate to each other, then we want to try to force Google to recognize the associations in which we want them to recognize, which is the brand, notice something, guys, the brand entity is always referenced in every single page title type. Why? Because we always want Google to make the associations between the brand, the who we are, and what they do and or where they do it. You understand? It's about creating entity associations in the top level SEO or document or meta titles. Document titles, meta titles, SEO titles, they're all interchangeable. It's the same thing. And through top level pages, we're trying to force entity associations. Do you understand? That is precisely why we do it this way. So identifying what the Google business, that's easy. Go to Google Business and look, or Google Maps, and do a search for various keywords related to your industry and extract all the relevant categories. And then you determine how those categories were created through Wikipedia topics or entities. And now when we go to optimize the page structure, we know exactly which entities to use and where to get all the variants of those terms, right? Example, if we look at like arborist, this is an example, arborist Wikipedia. I'm going to open this up. And by the way, one of the Google business categories, take a look at this. Go into maps. Well, we're probably not going to see it here because I don't have my keywords anywhere, or GMB everywhere extension in Firefox. So we'll look at it here. Look at the two categories. There's tree service and arborist service. Okay, you guys see that? So arborist service was created from this. And we're going to run out of time today, by the way. I'm not going to get to all the questions. But this is what I'm trying to show you guys. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Arborist service, you guys see that? That's one Google business category that was created from two Wikipedia topics or entities. Arborist and service economics. Service has multiple meanings depending on which context it is used. This is what's called a disambiguation page that shows you the contextual relevance of the different versions of the word service depending on how it's used. Those, in the way that arborist service or tree service was created as a Google business category was by combining tree, so the topic or entity for tree, and service, but in the context in which we're talking about service, it's service economics, which is a act or use for which a consumer, government, or company or government is willing to pay. So what tree service is tree and service economics combined to create tree service. Arborist service is arborist and service economics combined to create arborist service. So I always list that in these audits right here as I show the Google business category. So I do the location entities first. Then I will show here, and I'll just demonstrate this. This is my template file, so I'll have to edit this. But I would show, like, we're looking at arborist service. So I would say arborist service, oops, and it's little s service. Then I would put C as a category there. Then underneath that, I'm going to put arborist, and I'm going to put T because that's a topic, plus, and then I would put service, and then put D as in disambiguation so that you can see the redirect chain for this. And then I would put service underscore economics here. So I would do service underscore and then economics. Like that. And then what I do is I go copy each of those Wikipedia page URLs and then hyperlink to them in here, so that you have each one of those Wikipedia page URLs. So you have the arborist page, disambiguation page for service, and then service economics. And then that way, when I go to provide page structure recommendations, which includes titles, headings, subheadings, and internal linking, I'm going to use entity variants, category and topic terms through the main optimization elements of the page, titles, headings, and subheadings, so that Google understands that the page is optimized at the entity level, not the keyword level, so that it opens up that page's ability to rank for all the search queries that Google has already identified as relevant to the tree service category. Do you understand? Or the arborist service category. And when I'm going to optimize those pages, I look at the entity variants. How do you find the entity variants? Well, it's whatever's in bold here, are entity variants for this term, as well as if you click on tools, what links here, hide transclusions and hide links. One of my mastermind members, Nolan, showed me this trick, and it's fabulous. If I click go, these terms right here are the entity variants. All of these are synonyms for this entity term. So that's how you can optimize for topics and categories. Identify the categories first by going to Google Business. Then you can figure out how the categories were created through Wikipedia topics or entities. Then if you link to all of those and now you click on tools, what links here, you can get entity variants for each of those terms so that you can optimize the page through the main optimization elements with entity variants instead of hammering the same term over and over and over again, which could cause Google to think the page is keyword optimized instead of entity optimized, because it will treat the page differently. When you're optimized for keywords, guys, that page will typically only rank for that particular search query and close variants of that query. When you optimize at the entity levels, what I call category and topic optimization, then that opens up that page's ability to rank for all the search queries, phrases, keywords, etc., that Google has associated with that category, whether that keyword's even present on the page. That's how we can rank pages for dozens of search queries without having 3,000 words of content on the page, without having 15 H2s on the page where you're trying to target every variant of the keyword. You don't need to do that anymore, guys. Do you understand? Because of large language models, Google has its own, which is fully integrated into its search algorithm. Google understands our language a lot better. We don't have to hammer it over the head with fucking keywords anymore. Optimize at the entity level. It is much more efficient. You'll need less content, less pages. Your site will need less links because there will be less target URLs to build links to. Just everything's more efficient now that Google has a better understanding of our language. Okay. All right. So Chuck, I hope that helped. I didn't really give you any examples here for this, but I was trying to show you how you can come to this and decide on this yourself. I don't know if that answered your question or not. I'm going to clear that because that's part of my template. But if you need help with it, go order a full SEO audit from me at Semantic Links. Or Vetted. You can go to Vetted, VETTTED, and you'll see my profile. I have a full SEO audit service there too, where you can come to me direct and order it from Semantic Links, and I will do the SEO audit for you and provide you with those specific recommendations that then you can implement. And you'll learn from that audit, guys. Again, that's why my audit review videos are an hour and 10 minutes long, oftentimes, because I'm trying to teach you how to then implement this on other projects without needing to buy an audit from me. That's my goal, is to teach you how to do it, not just tell you what to do, right? And so I'm just pointing to, guys, I'm happy to share this information on a Hump Day Hangout. But what I found in the mastermind is that, and by the way, I provide audits like this for free in the mastermind, as long as you let me use it as a training opportunity for the rest of the group. And the reason I brought that up is because I started doing free audits in the mastermind specifically because even though I teach this all the time, even in free settings now, a lot of people don't know how to apply this to their own particular situations or their clients' situations. So that's why I offered to do this in the mastermind for free, so that I can use this as a training opportunity to show how this method can be applied to various circumstances or situations, so that you guys can start to learn how to apply this method, which is a much more efficient and better way to optimize. You can learn how to apply that in various situations, right? Single location business, service area business, single location business that covers a large service area. Maybe it's a multiple location business. Maybe it's a multiple location service area business. So there's so many different configurations. Maybe it's a multi-business category, service category business that changes how you would optimize. All of those things are things that are important to understand. How do you apply these methods in various circumstances, which is why I recommend, if you don't know how to apply it, either purchase an audit, join the mastermind, and submit it for free, a free audit, so that I can use it as a training opportunity.